Today I want to talk about an approach to symptoms and healing if you have chronic symptoms, chronic illness. And I'm going to share a couple of things to help you use those symptoms to heal, as opposed to seeing those symptoms as the problem, right? Healing is not about getting rid of the symptoms. In a sense, it's about going deeper and deeper and releasing the resistance around the symptoms until they're not a problem anymore. And then the symptoms tend to release themselves. But even if they don't, it's okay, right? Because this is why I talk about awakening as well, because it's just a physical experience in the end. And it's the resistance that makes it so uncomfortable. And it's so important to get through that resistance, because even if you have this idea of full recovery on the other side, I've spoken with so many people, and myself included, life still lifes. And what I mean by that is you're still going to have life stresses, and that's still going to trigger reactions in your body. And if you have a sensitive nervous system, which I've come to understand that that's just the reality of my body and my life, it's going to trigger things in your body. So either way, you have to get to the root of resistance because life's still going to trigger you. So in whatever sense, right? People, things, it's not about getting away from anything. It's always about resistance. That's my perspective. So now I want to talk a little bit how to use, if you have symptoms in your experience, how to use that to actually help you heal and find freedom and relief and peace in the end. Peace is what you actually want, right? If you think about what do you want from full recovery, it's peace and freedom. Really, at the root. So I'm going to share a quick story with you that can maybe help to expand on this idea of using symptoms as an actual tool to help you heal. So the idea for this video came from, I just went down to walk on the beach, and I went for a swim in the lagoon where I'm staying currently. And when I was in the water, I stepped on something, who knows what it was, like a sea urchin or a shell or something, and it cut my toe. And it was really painful. And I was getting out of the water, and I was kind of like limping back along the beach because it was too painful just to walk normally. And then I was like, let's sit and meditate on the beach here and really explore the experience of this pain, right? So that initial experience was like limping, and there's nothing wrong with limping, but it was this experience of trying to get away from the pain, right? It was sore. I cut my foot, and it was uncomfortable. But I was like, hey, let's use this as an entry point, right? So I sat on the beach, and I really just was like, how deep can I go into the pure experience of the sensations of pain? Like what is that sensation actually made up out of? And it's such a powerful, in the end, I was so grateful that I actually stood on this, whatever it was I stood on, whether it was a shell or like a sea urchin or something. I think it was a sea urchin because I think there's something stuck in my toe. And it was really sore. But I was really grateful as I was sitting there meditating and going deeper and deeper into it. It was like really grounding. It really brought me out of my head, right? I'd been having a few conversations and did like a podcast where I talk a lot, and then I can often feel I'm a little bit ungrounded, a little bit up in my head. And then I need to go for a walk or something just to kind of, unclench and bring my energy down and, help calm my nervous system down. You know, I still have a human nervous system. But anyways, that's what I want to say. It's the same with your symptoms, right? Whatever is like the most triggering or the most uncomfortable in your experience, let it overtake you, right? This is what I did with my pain now. There was lots of little aches and pains in my body, but this was the most intense. And it was such a great anchor point to meditate on, right? It really gave me something to dive into. Like it really gave me an excellent entry point just to kind of, and I like left the beach leaving so peaceful, as you can maybe feel now in this video. Like it really, it really was like an entry point into presence, in a sense, into out of the mind and into this moment, but not held back in the mind, right? That's what we're always doing. We're always holding back and commenting on experience. So whether that's your symptoms, your mind is holding back and saying, it's a symptom again. What does the symptom mean? It's putting it into a box and it's comparing it to that symptom and this stage in your journey and this and that and all of these things, right? And it's understandable, right? When you've got a chronic illness and you've got a lot of symptoms, there's a lot going on. But the more and more that you can put aside distractions, this was always key for me as well. I've been on my phone a lot, right? And I can just feel like I don't feel good if I spend too much time for too long on like things like a cell phone and like computer and like just for long periods of time. It's like, it's not great. I don't like it. Right. So you got to put aside distractions and then go into something that can really ground you. Like you can really be with experience, with the physicality of it. And just like a mixture of like, I'd say a mixture of like a curious inquiry. So like really digging in, go in. And at the same time with like a softness, right? So you're also not like, what's the word? You're not like, trying to, really tense up like that, right? This is what you can feel like, okay, I'm going in, but you really like, you almost, like not really like that. More like keeping it soft and like relaxing into it, even if it's overwhelming, right? Relaxing into it, unwinding, unclenching. Just let it all soften. And then explore what's uncomfortable. Touch in, let it soften. Right, and with different people with chronic illnesses, I've worked with somebody recently who had like a lot of trauma and had like, the nervous system was really in a dysfunctional state. Then you can just touch in, right? You don't need to push too hard. You can just touch in softly. You got to dip your toes in and then just soften, allow kind of, but touch into something uncomfortable, touch into something physical and just allow, right? And if the mind's making a lot of noise, just allow that as well. Just allow. Let it do what it wants to do. But don't believe that anything in your experience is actually a problem, right? Anything in your experience is an opportunity to help you heal. This perspective is going to serve you so much. And for me now, it was just physical pain, right? It was just physical pain. And I was like, hey, this is an opportunity, right? To go deeper with meditation or awakening, just kind of help really bring me into this and out of the thoughts. And if you haven't had that first shift, that first awakening out of thinking, then notice the thoughts, notice the analysis of the symptoms, see that that's all thought, but there's something that thought is commenting on, right? Like your actual physical experience, that thought is commenting on. The closer you get to that, the more you kind of relax into that, soften into it, the more you can release whatever is kind of, and then you close and you kind of releasing resistance, because the more you're holding back from that, the more you're going to struggle with your experience, and the more that symptoms are going to trigger you and keep you in this like fear locked in state. So really see your symptoms as an opportunity, as an investigation. Any symptom that arises is a gift. See it that way. Don't fight with it. Really open up to it. And this is going to serve you in more ways than you realize, right? In one sense, you're letting go of this whole negative spiral of symptoms and fear and symptoms and fear. So really start to put this into practice. It can take some time as well, like shifting like very deeply ingrained mental patterns and neurological pathways and all of that. It's going to take some time, right? The mind has momentum. So when you start to be like, oh, symptoms are an opportunity. This is good for me. This is healing. This is like, it's so funny that you can, the thing that you want to get rid of to heal, healing actually lies within that, right? To be like, this is symptom, that whatever symptom is coming up, that's your ticket out of here. But you're not going anywhere because you stop needing to go somewhere when you really fully allow that symptom. So So it might seem foreign at first. This is what I'm saying with momentum, right? It might seem bizarre. What the fuck, Kyle? Why do I want to go into my symptom? But just do it. I've given enough reasons why. Now you just got to do it. And like I said, just do this all, depending on who you are and where you're at. Like I said, if you have a lot of trauma and a really fucked up nervous system, and by that I just mean that it's in a really dysfunctional state. Like, I'm not saying that you are. But if you're in that state, then just really touch in with softness, right? Don't push too hard. It's okay, right? You don't need to push too hard. That's also what I want to get across. Just allow. But if the symptoms are there, the symptoms are there. And if the mind is fighting with it, then the best thing that you can do is to stop that fighting and to work with the symptom. The symptom is here to help you on your journey. Really see that, really start to shift into that. Okay, good luck.